This is what victory feels like. Yeah! And this was no ordinary victory. This was a fork in the road of human civilization. Okay. You know, there are elections that come and go. Some elections are, you know, important, some are not. But this one this one really mattered. And I just want to say thank you for making it happen. Thank you. My heart goes out to you. It is thanks to you that the future of civilization is assured. Thanks to you. We're gonna have safe cities, finally, safe cities. Secure borders, sensible spending, basic stuff. And we're gonna take Doge to Mars. I mean, can you imagine how awesome it will be to have American astronauts plant the flag on another planet for the first time? Bam! Yeah! How inspiring would that be? You know, there's always problems in life. You know, there's this problem, solve that problem. But you know, there need to be things that inspire you. There need to be things that make you glad to wake up in the morning and say, I'm looking forward to the future. Yeah. I love you guys. So, and let me tell you, I'm gonna work my ass off for you guys. So, I really will. So, and yeah, but I'm super fired up for the future. It's gonna be very exciting. As the president said, we're gonna have a golden age. It's gonna be fantastic. And one of the fundamental things, one of the most American values that I love is optimism. And this feeling like we're gonna make the future good. We're gonna make it good. So, man, I can't wait. This is gonna be fantastic. So thank you again. And yeah. I'm just so excited about the future. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Hey there, Patriots. This is True Outlaw Patriot coming at you with another one. The video that I'm putting together tonight, I'm sure many of you have heard, is of all the controversy that's surrounding the speech that Elon Musk gave after President Trump was inaugurated. And how they're losing their damn minds saying that Elon Musk was giving out Nazi salutes at the after the inauguration, at the rally that they threw right after that. Now, you know, I came out and said it in my last video, and I've been saying it time and time again, even after Donald Trump had an assassination attempt on him back in July. Okay, last year, July, to be precise, that these leftists, these liberals, they will nitpick on any little damn thing, okay, to try to paint everyone on the right a different color than what they truly are, okay? And I say that loosely because when it comes to the left, everything to them is all about color. It's all about race, it's all about color, virtue signaling. I mean, just pointing the finger time and time and time again. And yet, they pretty much get away with what they want to say, what they want to do, how they want to treat people. And in their eyes, they think that they're on the right side of history. Okay. So, you know, I looked at the video from different angles, from different outlets, and in all honesty, me personally, can somebody take what he did in the wrong context? Yes. But if you look at it, if you look at the whole context of the video, of his speech, of how he came on stage and left the stage, okay, you'll see that this is nothing more than a man who's just full of very excited emotions, okay? And by him placing his hand over his chest, signifying that was from his heart, and then extending his arm into the crowd, okay, he's basically trying to tell them that he's extending his heart and his gratitude towards the people that helped get Donald Trump back into the White House. Now, you leftists can look at this any which way you damn want, okay? You can look at it any way you want, because nothing will ever be suffice to please you people. And to tell you the truth, I, for one, I have no intention of trying to please anybody on the left. Okay, you leftists take everything for granted, everything out of context. You vilify, you belittle people. I mean, you even eat your own. Okay, when it comes to like politics, when it comes to just like basically just thinking clearly. I mean, if nobody falls lockstep in line with your ideology, you're just gonna deem them anything you want because it makes you feel better, and yet you have yet to look in the mirror. And actually, I shouldn't say that, because I know you people look in the mirror all the time, but you are a pathetic bunch of people that, and I'm not talking about all, I'm talking about, I don't know, about 90% of you, in all honesty, okay? Because you make it seem, once again, as if you're all so damn righteous and pious that you could keep pointing the finger, but yet you don't look at the plank in your own eyes. Okay? You want to come out and say that Elon Musk is a Nazi. You've been saying it forever, that Donald Trump is a Nazi. Okay? But you have no proof of that, number one. But yet we have proof of all the stuff that you guys like to project onto people on the right and people that don't agree with you, that you truly believe in your own delusion. You truly believe that everything you say and everything you see is what everybody else should say and see at the same time. And that's just not the way it is. You want to live in your fantasy land, you want to have some sycophant mindset, that's all on you. That's fine. You do you, lock yourselves in a basement, do whatever the hell it is you want to do. But you keep playing this game about people being racist. Everything you see, you make it seem as if that was a racist joke. That was a racist tone. That was this. That was that. It was homophobe. It was xenophobe. It was Islamophobe. But now here's the thing. Okay, there's going to be a lengthy video, so I hope you all stay with me. He did that salute, and yet getting off the stage, if you go back in the video, okay, there was other people in the crowd pumping their fist. There was a guy pointing at Elon with his finger out. There was black people in the crowd, people clapping for him. And you can't say you didn't see it, because one of the in one part of the video, there's this real big black dude. You can see the back of him, okay, with his fist up in the air for Elon. And then at the end of what Elon's speech, what does he do? He gives a military salute. So what does that make him? I mean, you know, make up your minds. Does it make him a Nazi that's for the military? Does it make him a Nazi that's for black people in the crowd, or whatever the case is? Does it make him a Nazi just because he's a white guy from South Africa? I mean, you know, the choice is yours as always, but you people on the left always make it seem, you take a grain of salt, okay, and you try to fill a salt shaker and want people to believe that the salt shaker's full. But again, you won't look at the own plank in your eye. And this rhetoric is just going to go on and on and on. And I've been saying it, that the left will not give up. Any little thing that happens, they will try to turn this and spin it around. Even though they lost the presidency, the House, and the Senate, they're still trying to push back, and in some of the most disgusting ways, which I'm going to show you guys on a video that I got, okay, that I came across. But they won't give up. And now they're trying to push this narrative, even in Congress, that what Elon did was a Nazi salute. They won't give up on this. Now, do I blame Elon? No, not at all. The man's a free thinker. He does what he wants. Do I think that he gave out a Nazi salute to a diverse, multicultural crowd? No, not one bit. But that's not going to be satisfying for you. Okay, what's satisfying for you, you people on the left, okay, is when Hillary Clinton was doing an interview with the Breakfast Club, if anybody remembers, and they were questioning her, and she had to pander to a black, what was it, I think 2 or 3 people that was the host and the co-host, and they asked her a simple question of what she keeps in her purse, and she came out and said hot sauce. That wasn't racist? Or how about this? Because I tried to put the video clip on another video months ago, and YouTube wouldn't let me do it. But it was when Biden was at a rally explaining how he was the only white guy in a swimming pool full of black kids, and they were playing with the hair on his legs, and that's when he knew what it felt like to be surrounded by roaches. Did anybody forget about that? Was that racist? No. I mean, obviously it wasn't. You know, you left this white, you left this had this white savior that literally called little black kids roaches, and that wasn't racist. Oh no, that wasn't racist whatsoever. And you know what? Let's just say it wasn't racist. What it actually really was dehumanizing. But in your eyes, you guys don't give a shit. Because he was your white savior. But yet Donald Trump has surrounded himself with black people his whole adult life. Excuse me. Up the funding to give to more predominant black colleges. That wasn't good enough. More than Obama and Biden. That wasn't good enough. Pardon black people from getting out of prison. I should say pardon black people so they can get out of prison. That wasn't good enough. What racist does anything like that? Or the fact that Elon Musk employs multicultural people into his companies, but no. He's a racist. Let me tell you something. If Elon Musk and Donald Trump are racist, they must be the most stupid, colorblind racists on the planet that ever lived. They must truly be colorblind, that they do not see different shades of color. What's wrong with you people on the left is that you people are mental. Not all of you, like I said, but the vast majority of you that are out here putting out all this rhetoric, you people are truly, truly freaking mental. But with that being said, I just want to thank all my new subscribers and all my subscribers here on YouTube and on Rumble. So don't forget to comment, like, share, subscribe, and pass the channel around. Also, if you want to help support the channel, there's a link in my description to my Cash App and my merch store. I'm going to play a couple of more clips, okay, from like different angles on the 2 topics that I want to talk about. One is this whole Elon Musk Nazi salute situation, and something that happened to Donald Trump, okay, that truly shows, in my opinion, how mental the left is, okay? But the people on the left, you won't see it like that. You won't see it like that, and I'll explain why. But with that being said, let's continue. Here we go.
All right, we all know that Donald Trump was sworn in as the 47th President of the United States on Monday.
I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute
that I will faithfully execute
the office of President of the United States.
the office of President of the United States.
Now, we're going to get into some of the executive orders he has already signed in his first hours in the Oval Office, but it was billionaire Elon Musk who might have stolen the spotlight with this speech.
Victory feels like. Yeah! Elections are, important, some are not, but this one, this one really mattered. And I just want to say thank you for making it happen. Thank you. My heart goes out to you. It is thanks to you that the future of civilization is assured.
Mainstream media jumped on Elon's hand gesture, insinuating it was a Nazi salute. Here's CNN's reaction.
I just want to look at that salute that he gave again, just if anybody missed it, we'll just show it again. He's just wrapped up here. You can hear the... All right, so we just showed that. We just showed that.
Right. It's worth
salute.
It was quick. I think our viewers are smart and they can take a look at that, but it certainly was, it's not something that you typically see at American political rallies, put it that way.
No, it was not something that you usually would see. And it was quick, as you point out, it was very quick, but it was in a moment of intensity for him as he came out dancing, and then he did that. He is a hero here.
This was followed by headlines from Time Magazine and The Guardian, straight up calling it Nazi-like and fascist.
Musk responded to the backlash, saying, quote, "Frankly, they need better dirty tricks. The everyone is Hitler attack is so tired." End quote. That it is, and in that clip we played, those media figures were, I think, testing out whether they could get away with calling him a Nazi. It has taken place already. All over social media are liberal mainstream media figures and people saying this was clearly a Nazi salute. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez said this. And actually, this just came up at the confirmation hearings for ELISE STEFANIK, who's supposed to be ambassador to the UN. Democratic Senator Chris Murphy asked her to react to Elon doing a Nazi salute, and she said, well, I was not there, but he absolutely did not do that. And then he starts reading tweets from people on the internet. It's even setting aside the issue, an embarrassing misuse of time of our elected representatives. This was not a Nazi salute. It is a desperate smear by people who hate Elon and resent his influence. And I can't believe we're doing it. And we don't have to do this. It's not a smear. It's not. It is a smear. It's not I'm so overcome with disgust that we're doing the whole OK sign, Nazi tattoos thing. Stop it. You sound crazy.
It is so unserious, so ridiculous, and offensive, really, to legitimate, claims of white nationalism, Nazism, whatever, or potential victims of those ideologies, to claim that someone who literally said what his intention was after, my heart goes out to you. He was giving his heart to the crowd. It was very obvious what he was doing. And this takes me back to the time when we had a whole debate over the CPAC stage apparently being in the shape of some Nazi symbol.
Oh my God.
And it turned out that the hotel put the stage together, or it was an outside contractor, and yet the schlaps were painted as Nazis because of the shape of the stage in Orlando. They did it with Laura Ingraham when she waved to the crowd and her arm was a bit too straight for their liking. Pete Hegseth's tattoo became a part of the conversation. And I think you're right. I think they're very desperate. They resent the fact that Trump won. They're doing anything they possibly can to try to stop these nominees, to try to stop Elon Musk from having influence in the administration. And because it became quite obvious that the American people resoundingly support Trump's policies, and a lot of the people that surround him, they have no choice but to resort to the most bad faith, out of context, false characterizations and personal smears against these people.
Okay, so you heard that. That was put out by these two hosts on a channel called Reason TV. And if anybody recognizes this man, he does the news on, I believe, The Hill or something like that. Okay, and if anybody watches their content, Many times they go on both sides of the aisle and try to make clarity of things that are going on. Okay, so you heard what this woman, I think her name is Amber Duke, okay, what she said about the CPAC stage that was made, of how right away the Democrats, they try to make it seem like it was some sort of Nazi symbolism the way they set up the stage. I mean, any little thing that the left can take and try to spin it around and make it seem like something is not, people are getting sick and tired of it. Just like Elon Musk put on his tweet that this whole reference to Hitler and basically being Nazis, and you know, I mean, it goes on and on and on, that it's tiring. And it really is. It truly is. Okay, I've seen videos of white liberals calling black Trump supporters Nazis. Okay, I mean, it's just flat out disgusting the way they keep this up no matter what, knowing that they lost, knowing that they don't have a say-so anymore, knowing that Donald Trump is putting out policies that is going to go after censorship, it's gonna go after people that are trying to suppress free speech. He came out and said that America's only going to recognize 2 genders. I mean, he is putting down policies that he promised the people that nearly 80% of the country, okay, because poll after poll after poll shows it, okay, are sick and tired of the BS coming from the left, of how they are trying to manipulate people's minds and their thoughts. Okay? But no, they just, you know, they just can't stop. They truly cannot stop. But now here's the funny thing. Okay? If anybody knows the Anti-Defamation League, I've always considered them to be left-leaning, I mean, for decades. And if anybody knows them, I mean, they truly are. I mean, in my opinion, the way they handle things, the way they inject themselves into issues that are going on in society, the way they put out their so-called opinions on things, or how they look at situations, it's always left-leaning. Okay? Always. But now let's read a statement that they put out, okay, for all to see. And even with their opinion on it, the left is still not satisfied. Check this article out. Here we go. Okay, this was put up by Jewish Telegraphic Agency, and they were established in 1917. So if anybody would know anything about Nazism, I'm pretty sure these people have been around to know what exactly is it that everybody is talking about. It starts off with, how did the ADL conclude that Elon Musk didn't give a Nazi salute? It is insane. Okay, now this is what the ADL has put out. Okay, it says, hours after President Donald Trump's inauguration, many Jewish groups sounded the alarm when Elon Musk appeared to twice deliver a Nazi salute at the presidential parade. But the Jewish group most famous for fighting anti-Semitism had a different take. It seems that Elon Musk made an awkward gesture in a moment of enthusiasm, not a Nazi salute. The Anti-Defamation League wrote Monday in a statement on Musk's own social media platform X, referring to Musk's outstretched arm movement that came as he was thanking his supporters. The ADL added, in this moment, all sides should give one another a bit of grace, perhaps even the benefit of the doubt, and take a breath. This is a new beginning. So that's what the ADL said. Okay? Now, like I said, this is a group that the left love to have on their side. Just like the, the NAACP. Okay? Who we know are totally left-leaning. Once in a blue, they will come to the aid of somebody on the right, or somebody that truly is being mistreated. But for the most part, they're left-leaning. Okay? And they're over here saying that no, that's not how they took it. Now, the rest of this article is pretty lengthy. I'm not going to read it, but it almost goes as if this... I'll read a little more. Let's just put it that way. Okay. Musk replied, thanks guys, adding a laughing emoji. Others were less grateful for the ADL's response. A range of groups on the left have long exposed the ADL. So we already know that now they're going to interject things that other groups have to say about the ADL. So it's like, so who truly is being the Nazi here? 1 minute you're with one party or you're with one group, the next minute, because that group says, you know what, that's not exactly how we see it, now you're going to go against them. So you have other Jewish groups going after the ADL for what the ADL said, but meanwhile the ADL is left-leaning. Okay? At least from what I know, because many times, always, when the Anti-Defamation League sticks their nose in anything, is always to criticize something that's going on the right. Unless I'm wrong, and if I'm wrong, just leave it in the comments. But in all honesty, that's all I've ever seen. Okay? And I try to keep an open mind on my channel. I'll call out something that's wrong. But you're not going to make me call out something that's wrong because you feel that it's wrong and it's something different from what I see. You're not going to change my opinion. But the thing with the left is that they want everybody to follow lockstep with them. Almost sounds like Nazism. Because if you don't condemn it, okay, it's like the blind leading the blind. It's a Nazi trying to lead somebody into Nazism, saying that you better go against Nazism, but you're the one acting like a damn Nazi. And to tell you the truth, I mean, not that what happened in World War II should ever be forgotten, but the left keeps throwing around the phrase Nazism. You have watered down that term because all it does is take away from people that truly suffered at the hands of Nazis. Like I said, you're willing to call... You'll have a white liberal calling a black person a Nazi. You'll have an Hispanic liberal calling a white person a Nazi. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. And it's always people from the left trying to call everybody else Nazis, regardless of their skin color, regardless of their culture, where they come from, who they vote for. If you're not in lockstep with them, you're a Nazi. And it's disgusting. And not even a full day after this happened, okay, it's already on Capitol Hill during one of the confirmation sessions with ELISE STEFANIK, where they have to bring it up. And you know what? I'll play the video so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Here we go.
What do you think of Elon Musk, perhaps the president's most visible advisor, doing 2 Heil Hitler salutes last night at the president's televised rally?
No, Elon Musk did not do those salutes. I was not at the rally, but I can tell you I've been at many rallies with Elon Musk, who loves to cheer when President Trump says we need to send our U.S. space program to Mars. Elon Musk is a visionary. I'm looking forward to his work in DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency, and look forward to looking how we can be more efficient and effective. But that is simply not the case. And to say so is the American people are smart. They see through it. They support Elon Musk.
Exactly.
We are proud to be the country of such successful entrepreneurs. That is one of our greatest strengths as Americans.
Let me share with you what a few Americans have said about it. Evan Kilgore, a right-wing political commentator, wrote on X, "Holy crap, did Elon Musk just Heil Hitler at the Trump inauguration rally? This is incredible. We are so back." Andrew Torba, who's the founder of the right-wing Christian nationalist social platform Gab, said incredible things are happening as he amplified the visual. The Proud Boys chapter in Ohio posted the clip on its Telegram channel with the text Heil Trump. A chapter of the white nationalist group White Lives Matter posted it on Telegram. "Thanks for hearing us, Elon. The white flame will rise again." I could keep going. Over and over last night, white supremacist groups and neo-Nazi groups in this country rallied around that visual. Does it concern you that those elements of the neo-Nazi and white supremacist element in the United States believe that what they saw last night was a neo-Nazi salute?
What concerns me is these are the questions you believe are most important to ask to the UN ambassador.
Exactly.
I have a very strong record when it comes to combating anti-Semitism. We just had a historic election where President Trump earned historic support from American voters because of his strong leadership combating anti-Semitism, which has been a scourge across the country, skyrocketing since October 7th. So I intend to bring moral clarity to this position and continue to speak out as a voice, as a beacon of light, condemning anti-Semitism at the United Nations, which is...
And there you go. I'm going to leave it at that. It's only about another minute. But you know what? It's so sickening that every single time, now you have content creators like Harry Sisson putting his little peach pink face freaking thoughts on it. Making it seem, oh my God, Elon Musk did a Nazi salute. This is crazy. And then you have YouTube content creators over here saying that we need to own that. That we need to own that white supremacy because that's all on us. You have the mainstream media coming out and try to make it seem something that it's not, and yet always trying to group everyone. And like this man just came on and said that all these people from these right-wing white supremacist groups, okay, just because they're leaving comments, make it seem as if that's what we're all about. How many times has Donald Trump condemned white supremacy? Way too many times. But the left won't talk about that. Elon Musk does something people are saying is not what you think, but yet they want it to stick because they want to make it seem like everybody on the right is a bunch of freaking Nazis and racists and people that just hate. They want us to be lumped up in a group just because there's people that we can't control that want to be part of this group. Like Donald Trump once said, he cannot pick and choose who votes for him. Okay? And it's true. If a black person wants to vote for Donald Trump, who is he to tell that person they can't? If a white supremacist wants to vote for Donald Trump, who is he to come out and say that they can't? He can express his feelings and say, I don't support that group, but is it going to stop them from voting for him? No. So you can't go and take comments of these people that you say, okay, are part of these white nationalist groups, and then try to bulk that in and take something that Elon Musk did out of context and make it seem like, oh, this is all about what the right is all about. Because if that's the case, I tell you what, let's do this. Okay? For as much as you have white liberals that are out there, okay, pushing all this transgenderism on young children and sex change operations on young children, and where they have little boys in drag shows and all that, does that mean that I have to say that every single person on the left is a damn pedophile? Does that give me the right to say it? Lest anybody forget, who was it? One of Hillary Clinton's aides' husband, if anybody forgets, Anthony Weiner, who was exposing his wiener to an underage girl, okay? Where, I mean, that whole thing just blew out of proportion and disgrace for them. Does that mean that I have to consider everybody on the left, every leftist politician that's married to some dude, that they are part of a marriage that, you know, that the husband is a pedophile? Because if that's the case, if that's how you want to call it, if you want to keep saying that everybody in the right are a bunch of racists, that Elon Musk did a Nazi salute, that Trump is a racist, okay, or a rapist, or whatever else you've been saying about him, then it's safe for me to say that, you know what, everybody on the left is nothing but a bunch of sick, demented pedophiles. How about that? I mean, let's be realistic here, people. That is how we're supposed to look at each other in this time, in this day and age, with what's going on in the times, that the left is going to continue to keep trying to push their narrative, but yet try to silence people like me and others for not being able to speak our mind, knowing for a fact that, you know what, I don't look at everybody on the left in that way. Do I think they have a warped sense, a warped ideology, and a warped sense of the way they think? Yes. But I'm not going to look at somebody that's a pedophile and automatically equate them with the left. Okay? But no, the left loves to equate anything that anybody says that they disagree with and just push it on the right, and then take something small from the right and make it seem like, you know what, that's the missing link. That's what binds these two parties together. That's what binds those sick people, those races, those Nazi organizations with Elon Musk and Trump and all that. But yet, I'll bring it up again, then when it came to giving to historical black colleges, Donald Trump gave the most. He's a pretty stupid white racist if he wants to empower black people. Correct me if I'm wrong. Who is it that does the show? Steven Crowder or things like that? Change my mind. I mean, make me see what you see. Help me to believe what you believe. And you can't. You know why? Because your thinking is demented. It's demonic. It's wicked. Plain and simple. And that's the way you like it. That's what you want to do. You want people to see all this division, all this chaos, all this color change. You just want everything to look the way you see it in your head. And to tell you the truth, I've always said that the mind is a terrible thing to taste. I don't like what you're serving. So I don't want to know what's in your mind. You know, some people may come out with the phrase and say, I wonder what they were thinking. Quite honestly, I don't want to know what the hell they were thinking. I want nothing to do with it. Okay? But the left wants you to do with it. They want you to be a part of it. They want you to accept it. And that's just not how it goes. Like I said in the beginning of the video, can somebody look at what Elon did and take it out of context? Yes. But look at the whole context. Open up your mind. Free your mind and your ass will follow. When you get your mind out the gutter, you stop looking at things, thinking that it's all in the gutter. But that's how the left likes to think. Many people on the left, their mind is in the damn gutter. Okay? That's just the way it is. That's the way I see it. And no, do I think that just because Elon Musk came from South Africa, that makes him racist? No, I know people from Africa. Okay, from South Africa, from West Africa, I know people. When you're born and raised in the Bronx in New York, you will meet people from all around the planet. I mean, that was the time that people said, me growing up as kids, that the Swiss were bad people. I worked at jobs in New York where there was plenty of people from Switzerland working. Some of the nicest people. It's just like the French. Do I think the French are arrogant? Absolutely. Do I think they're ignorant? Absolutely. But do I think all of them are? No. I've worked with French people. Okay? And they're some of the nicest. You people on the left take everything out of context, and instead of just sitting back, but I think I know why you don't sit back and think, because your brain does not have the capacity to go beyond of a feel-good situation, of a knee-jerk reaction. Okay, that's what you go on. But that's my take on this. Now let's get to my next part of the video, which proves again how screwed up the left are and how they try to spread their ideology, okay, and how they think they could do things and make it seem like it's okay, but they do it in some of the most disgusting ways. That now, you know what, you want to say that Elon gave a Nazi salute? Now, us on the right, now we can clap back. How about that? Pay attention. Here we go.
Day one of the Trump presidency by using her sermon to lecture Donald Trump and his family on the treatment of LGBTQIA+ children and illegal immigrants during a church service in Washington, D.C.
Let me make one final plea, Mr. President. Millions have put their trust in you. And as you told the nation yesterday, you have felt the providential hand of a loving God. In the name of our God, I ask you to have mercy upon the people in our country who are scared now. There are gay, lesbian, and transgender children in Democratic, Republican, and independent families. Some who fear for their lives. And the people who pick our crops and clean our office buildings, who labor in poultry farms and meat packing plants, who wash the dishes after we eat in restaurants and work the night shifts in hospitals, they may not be citizens or have the proper documentation, but the vast majority of immigrants are not criminals. They pay taxes and are good neighbors. They are faithful members of our churches and mosques, synagogues, wadara, and temples. I ask you to have mercy, Mr. President, on those in our communities whose children fear that their parents will be taken away, and that you help those who are fleeing war zones and persecution in their own lands to find compassion and welcome here. Our God teaches us that we are to be merciful to the stranger, for we were all once strangers in this land.
Bishop Marianne Edgar Buddy of the Episcopal Diocese of Washington was slammed online for her tone-deaf sermon. Commentator Charlie Kirk said, "She was given a great honor today, a chance to unify America around a Christian message at the dawn of a new administration. Instead, she disgraced herself with a lecture you'd hear on CNN or an episode of The View. What an embarrassment." This commentator agreed, saying, "As a Catholic and legal immigrant, it's outrageous that some woke bishop would lecture President Trump about deporting illegals. It's an insult to all of us who came to this country the right way. If you don't have borders, then you don't have a country." The lecture left everyone on Team Trump visibly uncomfortable, particularly Vice President J.D. Vance, who looked to his wife in disgust of what was being said.
There are gay, lesbian, and transgender children in Democratic, Republican, and independent families. Some who fear for their lives.
Bishop Marianne Edgar Buddy has a strong history of woke lectures and anti-Trump activism.
Oh, angry. They're angry at the president. So what is your message to President Trump today?
Well, I've given up speaking to President Trump. We need to replace President Trump. We need leadership that will lead us in the ways that this country deserves.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This begs the question, why this particular bishop was chosen to lead the service when she is clearly at such odds with the new administration. This commentator said, "Who thought it was a good idea to have this lunatic give a sermon to Trump?" Donald Trump retained composure when asked about the service, simply saying he didn't think it was a good service.
Mr. President, what did you think of the sermon? What did you think of the sermon?
What did you think of the service?
What did you think? Did you like it? Did you find it exciting? Not too exciting, was it? I didn't think it was a good service, no. Thank you very much.
Thank you, press. Thank you, press.
They can do much better.
This commentator...
And you know what? I'm going to stop it there. And he's right. It's disgusting. It truly is disgusting the way these people on the left want to go and push their ideology, even getting to the point to try to do it in a setting where you're supposed to be worshiping God, the Lord Jesus Christ. Okay? But this is the way the left does things. They think they can say and do whatever the hell it is they want, and you need to accept it and be accepting about it. But then you'll go and take something small on the right and blow it out of proportion just to feed a narrative of hate. I had a friend ask me, okay, a few questions the other day, and we got into the topic about the whole immigration situation. Okay? Now, the only way I can answer him, and I want all you lefties out there, like I said, I blame everybody that's involved for letting all these illegal immigrants in and not vetting them, where so many criminals have come in and they have murdered, raped, and or killed. Okay? Well, I should say murdered, raped, robbed, and done other things to men, women, and children, especially in their own communities. So I want all you people to understand that if you're a part of that, whether you're a bishop like this woman, I put pastor, but bishop, I should say I put pastor down in the title, but she's supposedly a bishop. Whether you're a pastor, bishop, all these NGOs, it doesn't matter. If you are for these open borders, every single blood that's dropped, every single person, okay, that is victimized, all that falls on you. It all falls on you. So stop thinking you're so damn pious and so freaking self-righteous, okay, that you could pretty much say and do what you want. Now, this woman over here is over here siding herself, okay, with the gay community first and foremost, if you look at it. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, people. Please leave it in the comments. What does it say in the Bible about worshiping two gods? You can't worship God and then still with the way and then still deal with the ways of the world. You got to pick a side. But this woman obviously is showing for everyone to see what side she's on. Now she comes out and talks about all the immigrants coming in, about the families that are being separated. What about all the women and children, all the men that have been killed at the hands of illegal immigrant criminals? They've been separated permanently from their families. What about the 300,000 plus missing migrant children? They have been removed permanently from their families. That was all on leftist policies. Okay? And for Donald Trump to come out and say that the service wasn't good, can you blame him? It reminds me when Donald Trump and Pence back in 2016, 2017, around there, Pence was in New York and he went to go see the play Hamilton. And what was the first thing they did at that play? They vilified him. They vilified Pence, him and his wife, in front of the whole damn crowd. They embarrassed him. Okay? But it's okay for you people on the left to do stuff like that. You think that you're on the right side of history. Okay? Now, getting back to the conversation I had with my friend when he brought up the fact about the whole illegal immigrant thing, he asked me what makes a human illegal, because he doesn't believe it, but he understands the whole situation with the open border. Okay, like what's going on, what the back and forth is. So the only way I can answer him is what I'm going to tell you what I tell him, and I heard this doing research months ago, and I found one article online that made sense to me. Okay, here's the thing. Since you people on the left talk about that you're about law and order like you pretend you are, and you keep using God to try to get your agenda across, okay, even though you know you're contradicting what God says, I'm going to prove to you right now how you are contradicting what God says. Because I looked it up and just to find out if it's illegal for, what does it say in the Bible basically about illegal immigration? And quite honestly, it doesn't say anything. But there is one thing that is said in the Bible, that if you truly believe in God, then you'll have to understand what God is saying. And if you truly believe in God, you have to try to live as much as possible, if not entirely, the way God wants you to live. So pay attention if you made it this far. Now, it goes like this. When God says, render to Caesar what is Caesar's and render to God what belongs to God, everybody, not everybody, many people know what it means. Many people don't. They have an idea of what it means. So the person in the article goes on to explain that although there is nothing in the Bible, okay, and I'm kind of paraphrasing here, that says anything about illegal immigration, that one passage alone, when it says render to Caesar what is Caesar's and render to God what is God, means when you render to Caesar what is Caesar's is by living by the laws that Caesar puts out. So if Caesar, meaning the president, a chancellor, anybody that's in charge of a country, comes out and puts a law, and the law in the United States says it is illegal to come into the country illegally, that is rendering unto Caesar what belongs to Caesar. God is commanding you to listen to Caesar's law and obey Caesar's law. It doesn't say, but if you don't like what Caesar has to say, you can go and break the law, because then that will contradict God's word. So when God says render to Caesar what is Caesar's, he means also listen and obey Caesar's law. Render to God what is God's, that means obey God's law when you follow Christ. So if you're going to follow Christ like this woman is supposedly doing, then she alone should be against breaking the law of coming into the United States illegally. Think about that. Now, some people may not like that. It might leave you confused and say, well, now I don't know what should I do, because my heart says this, but God says that. Then, if you believe in God, you have to follow what God says, which means that it has to come from your heart. Listen, I'm not perfect. I sin every day. We all sin. Okay? And is it easy for all of us to pick and choose different things in life, be it the way God wants us to do it or the way Caesar wants us to do it? Yes. We're human. We are full of flaws. We're always going to flaw. But we have to learn and get better. Okay? Not keep going and pointing fingers, even though we still do it every day. But like I said, what I find disgusting is that the left can easily point at Elon Musk and say he gave a Nazi salute. Never mind what Joe Biden said about little black kids being roaches. Okay? Or that Hillary says she carries hot sauce in her purse just to pander to a black host on a show in New York, I believe it is, in Brooklyn or whatever, called The Breakfast Club. That's okay that they do it. And then the left will come out and say, God wants us to do this. Where does God say to go and love transgender kids? It doesn't say. You know why? Because there's no such thing as a transgender kid. It is a kid that needs guidance. For this woman to come out and say that people in the gay community and transgender kids, they're afraid for their lives. You make it seem as if Trump has been taking people the first time around and he's going to do it again. Okay? Something that's not true. How many gay people were picked up when Trump was president and put in like prison? How many people died? How many gay people died because of Donald Trump? And no, I'm not saying pick and choose some incident that somebody had a gripe with somebody in the gay community. Because growing up in the Bronx, way before Donald Trump even thought about being president, I've heard of straight people being murdered in the Bronx. I've heard of gay people being murdered in the Bronx. I've heard of men, women, and children being raped, believe it or not, in the Bronx. I mean, who do you point the finger to on that? Do you point it to one side, the other side, down the middle? Do you point it to people that are just sick in the head? But that's not what the left wants you to believe. They want you to believe that they're on the right side of history, and people on the right are on the wrong side of history. And if anybody on their side wants to switch parties or just walk away from their mental ideology that has been growing, it's been growing like a damn cancer these past 8-10 years. Okay, and it's getting worse and worse. They'll go after you too, because they don't want you to think. The ones in charge don't want you to think freely. They don't want you to have real sympathy, real compassion. No, they want you to have that knee-jerk reaction and act on it and make it seem like, you know what, you're a good person for doing this. Don't worry about the innocent men, women, and children that have been vilified, raped, and murdered. Don't worry about them. They're taking one for the team. We got to look at the big picture, and that is that we stay in power, that we keep pushing our ideology, our agenda, our Babylon ways. Remember what happened to Babylon, people. Remember, and like I said, I'm not perfect. I sin every day. We all do. Whether we know it or not, whether we want to believe it or not, we all do. We all fall short of God's glory. Okay? But the left, they just won't stop. They keep pushing and pushing and pushing. And even after they lost, they're all upset because Donald Trump said there's only going to be 2 genders. They're pushing back on that. Listen, it's not that Donald Trump says there's only going to be 2 genders. There are only 2 genders. Okay? No, Elon Musk did not give a Nazi salute. But that's not the way the left sees it. They see what they want to see. Okay? And just quickly, before I end the video, I'm going to play another quick video to end this off, just to prove a little more about how people are looking at what Elon Musk did, and then we'll end the video. Here we go.
The origin of the military salute that we use in all the armed services of the United States is really shrouded in mystery. We really don't get a good look at what the quote-unquote customs and traditions are until the Army spells them out around World War I. In the Army, we say that the tradition certainly goes back to Roman times. If you've ever seen any of the Roman movies, the Romans will sometimes slap their chest and put their arm up in the air as a manner of salute. And they say that that salute had an origin to show allegiance from your heart, and then to show that you didn't have a weapon in your fighting hand, that your hand was open and that you were a friend. That's one of the very early origin stories. There's a second one. One is that in the times of the knight, a knight who saw a friendly knight or to pay tribute to a king would raise the visor of his helmet to let that person see their face and then show an open hand. Again, that they didn't have a sword in their hand. If you think about the act of grabbing the visor of your helmet and lifting it up to show your face, and you think about today's salute, where the right arm is taken up and touches the brim of your headgear, helmet or soft hat, that is very similar to this medieval era days of knights. I would say those are the 2 most common origin stories of the salute. We know that all of these legends and myths that have been passed down to us on how the salute started, they have in common the idea of showing that you are not hostile to the person you're approaching, that you don't have a weapon in your hand, and that you are in fact a person that wants to speak with and perhaps honor the person you're approaching.
Okay, there you go. So you heard that. And I play that because of what he said about what the Romans did, slapping their chest and putting their hands out as a sign to show that they come in peace or to honor somebody, whatever the case is. Okay? Now, some people are going to say, oh, you're full of shit. You're just putting that out because now everybody's putting out all this information online ever since Elon Musk did his Nazi salute. Yeah, you can think that. But here's the thing. I'm going to minimize this. This was put out by Business Insider 7 years ago. Not 2 days ago, the way all you leftist content creators are coming up with your own little information and your own cuts of history, trying to piece everything together in the past 24 hours. No, this came out 7 years ago. It says it right here. I can't change the timeline on a YouTube channel video. By Business Insider 7 years ago. How about that? Even before any of this was even thought of. As a matter of fact, 7 years ago, okay, when Donald Trump was president, nothing to this nature came up. So why they put this out, who knows? But like I said in the beginning of this video, when you looked at what Elon did before he walked off stage, he also gave a military salute. maybe, just maybe, you people on the left are so fucking stupid that you're not as smart as Elon Musk to do his research on history and knows what it is, how to salute people different ways. And I guarantee that's probably what it is. Elon Musk is a very, how can I say, eccentric person. Okay, for as much as you people on the left want to claim to be eccentric, you're definitely not. Not when you got a full-grown beard and you're wearing pink eyeliner and lipstick and you're calling yourself a woman. That's not being eccentric. That's mental. And then to have people like Harry Sisson and MSNBC and politicians on the Hill over here saying that what Elon Musk did was a Nazi salute. When he plainly put his hand on his chest and raised his hand up to the air. And then he goes, my heart goes out to you. You heard what the man just said in the video that was put out 7 years ago. But you know what? Something tells me you're not going to care anyway. Because once it's in your puny little heads, once that little bit of dragon piss hits that little feeble seed in your brain, it sparks something to make it grow. And there's nothing but chaos. Keep that in mind. And I feel sorry for you people. That I truly do. I truly do, because God gave everybody so many beautiful gifts, and one of them is having our own individual train of thought, our own brain, free will, and you choose to use it to try to destroy other people. It's unbelievable. But there's still time to change. Anyway, people, that's what I got for you. Don't forget to comment, like, share, subscribe, pass the channel around. And if you can help support the channel, there's a link in my description to my Cash App and my merch store. So remember, people, stay vigilant. Keep praying for each other. Keep praying for the women and the children. Pray for your enemies. Pray for this country. And pray for Donald Trump. And don't forget to pray for all the missing children. Peace.